We rolling. Play it like you mean it, no.
God is right here, right now. Right here, right now. He's right here, right now. Right here, right now. God, yeah, He's right here, right now. Right here, right now. He's right here, right now. God. God is always whispering
Think about it.
words of hope and wisdom.
He's got a word for you.
Is anybody listening?
He's
Right here, right now. God is never far away.
no matter
Dark of night or light of day.
anytime
Anytime you call His name.
you find him.
Right here, right now. God is right here, right now. Right here, right now. He's right here, right now.
was lost. Alone, I thought there was no one who cared about me, or truly knew me. Then just in time,
since day one, you've grown dearer, closer
Good morning, Grace Place. Good morning, all of my family and friends. Thank you for joining us today as we celebrate Jesus Unfiltered. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your financial support. Thank you, praise team, Nate, all of the wonderful people who participate in bringing the message of Jesus to you. We're talking about Jesus all the time. And I'm sitting on the steps here in my home to represent my desire to climb higher, to know more. I'm sitting on the second step, headed higher. I'm going to learn about Jesus. I want to talk about Jesus. I celebrate Jesus. Only Jesus. When I was a boy, and for several decades of my life, there was a real controversy between the stream of Pentecost that I was in and all of the other denominations about God, people's view of God. Was God three separate persons in a Trinity? Was God one, and he manifested himself in three different ways? And it was a real big deal. And there was a lot of controversy and a lot of debate. And people stopped viewing God because of other people's view of God. And I remember thinking, how can this be so important that people would fight and hate one another and could not be friends or brothers over an idea about God? And so I come to you today saying, let's focus our eyes on Jesus, because smarter men than me have tried to figure out the nature of God. Is he three? Is he two? Is he one? And I want you and I to celebrate the fact that Jesus, who is the Son of God, who is God manifested in the flesh, that no matter how you observe all of the doctrines or how you feel about my feelings about the doctrines, that we at least can meet and say, thank God, Jesus Christ came into the world to save sinners, to save us from our sins, save us from our error. And that's what he's doing today. He has come to set us free. We're going to talk about his values, what he valued. He valued humility. He valued honesty. He valued people over religion. He valued freedom. And I'm really happy about his exclusive desire to set us free. I'm reading from John chapter 8, verse 31. To the Jews who believed him, Jesus said, if you hold to my teaching, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. That's powerful. It really doesn't matter what anybody else thinks is truth. It is the truth that will set you free. And then he said in verse 36, so if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. Freedom, free from constraint, free from restraint. As a matter of fact, freedom is not being under necessity or restraint, physical or moral, exempt from subjection to the will of others, being at liberty, unrestricted, unconstrained. There are millions of things that can constrain you. Thoughts, people, rules that can bind you, tie you up, bind your mind, stop you from being free. But there's only one thing that will set you free, and that's the truth. And Jesus said, I am the truth. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus came to set us free. Indeed, in every way. And I want to talk about that freedom. I mentioned last week my Grandpa Gable, probably the most influential man in my life. My mother's father. They lived on a little farm down by Cincinnati. He was a construction worker and a builder. My grandpa was a devout and pious man. Somehow in his connection with the men he worked with, he was invited to teach the men's Bible class on Sunday morning in a Brethren church. Now, I'm not familiar with all the different denominations, and I don't know a lot about the Brethren's church, but I do know that they are conservative. Their worship was quiet. They weren't exuberant and loud and enthusiastic like we Pentecostals. But my grandpa was involved, and so because of my deep love and respect for him, I thought it was a good thing. And one day when I was about 12 years old, we were visiting, and my grandpa and my dad went outside to take a walk and to talk, and I walked with them. And I walked on the outside. My dad was in the middle between my grandpa and I could see my grandfather's face and listen as he talked to my dad about his desire to get a license, recognition in the denomination that we were in. My dad was a district leader. And my grandpa was saying, because he was teaching in the Brethren Church, he felt it good if he could be licensed with the United Pentecostal Church. And so my dad went to the district board to ask about licensing my grandpa. He was teaching in a Bible class, but it was in a Brethren church, and they refused to let my grandfather have a license because he was teaching in a different denomination that believed differently about God. And my grandpa was crying. It hurt me so deeply. Oh, I saw my grandpa cry. I never saw him cry. And he was saying, why? Why? I could move forward and be recognized if I could just get a minister's license. I would be recognized in the Brethren Church as a minister, and I could do more. And I remember thinking, how wrong is this? First of all, I'm defending my grandpa, so it didn't really matter what anybody else thought. But how crazy is this? He's teaching what we believe. This is the truth. And he's trying to tell these people, and he can't join the fellowship. He can't be a minister because he's trying to help a church that doesn't view God like we view God. Something was planted in my heart. Something happened to me. I don't know, some kind of rebellion to the madness. And I was very young. And I have contemplated that, now for 54 5 years. What was that? Why would they do that? And why would I grow up and become a part of that same group only to have the same things happen to me? Isn't it amazing how small a thought can divide such large groups of people? You can't be free to think as you please if you are going to be in unity with a certain organization or institution. Watch television, watch the news. It's a big deal right now. All the controversy about people speaking, men of authority, women of authority speaking in colleges, and if somebody disagrees, why they just ban the whole thing. And because you can't, right now, it seems you can't express your ideas. You're not free, yet we're in the land of the free. You're not free to express your ideas, your thoughts, if they don't fit the general idea of the institution. And that's exactly what happened to Jesus. He went to the synagogue, one of the places where they would gather on the Sabbath. And on that day, there was a woman who came into the service, into the teaching, who was bent over. She couldn't straighten up. And she'd been bent over for 18 years. And Jesus saw her and said, "Woman, you are free from your infirmity." Free, he said, free. He touched her and she straightened up and was healed. And the leaders of the synagogue were so upset because they had rules, regulations, especially about the Sabbath. One of the big laws passed down for generations from the Old Testament is you keep the Sabbath, don't work on the Sabbath. And they said, "Why are you doing this on the Sabbath? If you people want to be healed, come on any other day, but don't come on the Sabbath day." And Jesus turned and said, "You hypocrites, you'll take your ox or your donkey out of the stall, you untie them and lead them to water. Why on the Sabbath day is it wrong for me to untie, set free this woman? You untie animals on the Sabbath. And I'm untying, unbinding, setting free this woman." And all the people that heard him were thrilled at what he said. The Pharisees were furious because he wanted to set somebody free, but it wasn't on their time frame and it didn't fit their rules. I want to read one more time the end of the story of Lazarus. I'm really thrilled about this. When Jesus called Lazarus out of the grave, it reads in verse 43, John 11:43. When he had said this, Jesus called in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out." The dead man came out, his hands and feet wrapped with strips of linen and a cloth around his face. Jesus said to them, "Take off the grave clothes and let him go." That's been on my mind for weeks. I talked about it a little bit last week. Jesus said, "Lazarus, come out." He raised the dead man. Whether he was resurrected at that moment, I don't know. Maybe when he stepped out of the tomb, I don't know. But he spoke to Lazarus and he spoke to them, the people. Two things happen here. Lazarus is alive because of Jesus Christ. He is loosed from the bonds of death. That's the big one. So I thought, until I read, he said to them, "Take off the grave clothes and let him go." What good is resurrection if you're still bound? What good is life if you still can't go? The things that you put on him, the linen that you wrapped his hands and feet in, you take that off. You have a cloth covering his face. You have to take that away. You take it away. You take it off. You bound him. You wrapped him in grave clothes. Grave clothes. The living man doesn't belong in grave clothes. You don't belong restricted under anybody else's rules. Anybody's. Mine, the church, religion, denomination. There's a million things that can bind you. Ideas, thoughts, rules, regulations, church thoughts that can separate you, bind you, hold you, restrict you. But there's only one answer to all of that. And that is to believe that Jesus came to set you free. And he sets you free and speaks to you, touches you, and says, woman, you're free from your infirmity. Satan cannot bind you. And people have to let us go. Let us go. Set us free to serve the Lord, to celebrate in the kingdom freely. Free. I am free. Jesus came to set us free. And today, I am talking in great generalities and telling you that there is nothing that people, anything in the world, nothing Satan or anything in the spirit can bind you, can keep you from the freedom that Jesus has come to give you. Amen.